Cassiopeia structure of the spiritual world levels 1 to 24. Here is a detailed description of the structure of the spiritual world from a contactee with representatives of the interstellar union of our galaxy, Irina Podzarova. After the final separation of the spirit from the material body, first the spirit enters the astral world, which is a kind of threshold or waiting room for disembodied spirits. Usually, he is met there by the guiding angels, who, together with his own guardian angel, explain to him what had happened and escort him to his eternal home, the world of non-incarnate spirits. It is a little further from the astral world from the manifested matter in terms of the level of its vibrations, being the next dimension of the spiritual world. The world of non-incarnate spirits is divided into 24 levels, a detailed description of which will be given below. It is there that all spirits await their turn for incarnation, and their life is not that bright, rich, and interesting than life in bodies in the material world. Why do we come here again and again? In order to manifest the accumulated experience, radiate our energy, show feelings, share thoughts, and gain new experience that allows us to become closer to that source of life, the power of which we so clearly feel in the spiritual world, where we are no longer distracted by the needs of material bodies. So, the world of non-incarnate spirits consists of 24 levels. The spirits that are dwelling above those levels perceived by us from here as living on the 24th level, because further for us comes simply light, which is not divided into separate spiritual entities. Here is a description of these levels, starting from the bottom up. The world of evil spirits. Level 1 Pewters. 1 Pewters are the lowest vibration of spirits. They closed their light with greed, lust, and envy so much that they completely forgot about the existence of God, suppressed their rational mind, closed their hearts from all good, and rejoice only in one thing when other beings experience pain and mental anguish. Then they feel that they are not the only ones that feel so bad, and for a while, they calm down from chronic discontent with everything and from their more or less constant persecution mania. Level 2 Rakshasas. 2 Rakshasas are spirits who are so overwhelmed with the energies of anger, hatred, and vengefulness that they direct all their activities to violence against others, believing that this is the best way to protect and promote their ideas. They forget about the freedom of choice given by God to others and recognize the right to it only for themselves. They easily go to any form of conflict, sincerely believing that a good, in their understanding, the end justifies any means. Level 3 Asuras. 3 Asuras are spirits who, because of their pride and arrogance, do not see the needs of other people. All their activities are aimed at satisfying their various desires, the fulfillment of which replaces the joy of being in God's love. In the heat of their passions, they do not pay attention to the manifestation of light in themselves, through intuition and the voice of conscience. Level 4 Fiends. 4 Fiends, wise demons, are spirits who are so absorbed in the pleasures they receive through the material body that they forget about the law of conservation of energies. They want to endlessly enjoy various material energies and are very irritated when an obstacle arises in their path, even if they are living people. They often do not observe the law of God about waiting in line for incarnation and move into the bodies of incarnate spirits that match their vibrations. Level 5 Demons. 5 demons, devils, are spirits who became so disillusioned with life in the material world that they came to a complete denial of its value and accuse God of creating and maintaining it with his energy. The degree and reasons for this denial are different for everyone. The common thing is visible asceticism and religiosity, combined with a sharp condemnation of dissidents and with a certain disgust in relation to any form of matter or material activity. Level 6 Archons. 6 archons are spirits with beliefs and actions similar to demons, but differing from them in a special structure of character, slightly higher vibrations, and a sense of inspiration and sincerity with which they do evil deeds. Thanks to well-developed strategic thinking and glimpses of intuition, which sometimes become available at this level, they become leaders among other evil spirits, like Lucifer, known to everyone from the biblical descriptions, who now lives on the 6th level. These leaders form peculiar societies of demons based on strict obedience and reverence for leaders, with rather harsh punishments for disobedience and apostasy. These societies in many ways resemble military brigades, totalitarian sects, and bandit groups in the world of non-incarnate spirits. The world of nature spirits. Level 7 Elementals. 7 elementals are spirits who seek to incarnate in the plasmawad worlds responsible for certain natural elements. They emerged from the demon world and dedicated their energies to the management of nature and the creation of animal souls. They are still attracted to their own power to the point that they can ignore the needs of their family, oppose society as a whole, and not want a sincere appeal to God. But they have already moved away from demonic egoism and now, creating animal souls and controlling them. They are learning to selflessly love someone other than themselves. Level 8 Genies. 8 genies. These spirits are very similar to elementals, but unlike them, they have a wider outlook, a greater focus of attention outward, great organizational skills, and friendliness. They also strive to incarnate in the subtle worlds, but unlike the elementals, they often do this not in the plasmoids controlling the elements, but in their immediate leaders who look after certain places in the material world, fields, forests, reservoirs, houses, etc. They also take part in the creation of animal souls and help the elementals control the elements of nature. The world of average spirits. Level 9 Apprentices. 9 apprentices are spirits who learn to direct their attention and energy to other personalities around them. They incarnate in order to learn, through their often bitter experience, the moral laws of the society where they are born. Often these are skeptics who do not believe anything or anyone except their own eyes and ears, and they usually believe that their senses cannot be deceived. This is their delusion life debunks. Sometimes it is quite harsh, and it is very important at this level not to get embittered by the blows of fate and not to fall even lower with the realization and full acceptance of the fact that absolutely everything happens by the will of God, even if this is not enough. Pure perception seems to be wrong or unjust. Level 10 Warriors. 10 warriors are spirits whose main goal is to restore justice in the form as they understand it. Indifference to the suffering of others and to their own allows them to reach sufficiently high vibrations, but the implementation of the plan is often associated with the condemnation of dissidents and the use of violent methods of influence. Unlike Rakshasas, warriors fight not for their ideas, not for the selfish advancement of their power, but for ideas that they sincerely and ardently consider socially useful. These are rebels and revolutionaries, burning with the dream of social well-being, but losing sight of the law of similarity, according to which a negative, even manifested for good purposes, can only generate another negative. Level 11 Consumers. 11 consumers are spirits who have learned all the charm of the material world in receiving various sensual pleasures and spending their energy on work for the sake of money that can give them things pleasant for them. Unlike demons, they will not overstep the norms of morality, and even more so the laws of the society where they live, but their heart is occupied with the desire for material wealth, and their mind is occupied with thoughts of how to acquire them and what to spend for greater enjoyment. busy with such concerns from morning to evening. They often have neither the time nor the desire to think about their spiritual development, and even more so to make any efforts in this direction. Level 12 Builders. 12 builders are spirits whose main goal is to create comfortable conditions for themselves and their loved ones to live in the material world. They are ready to work hard for this both physically and mentally, but often consider the matter, if not the only reality, then the most important condition for peace of mind and harmony, which they call happiness. Spiritual searches are often incomprehensible and boring to them, although they often do not condemn all this in other people. They are closer to the joy of a job well done than from music or a book read, and even more so from prayer or meditation. Level 13 Aesthetes. 13 Aesthetes spirits who begin to understand that the level of happiness does not depend on material well-being. Many of them still doubt this, but feeling a surge of light in their souls, they can fall into an ecstatic state that is completely incomprehensible for the spirits who watch, read and listen to the same thing but do not experience such a variety and depth of emotions. For aesthetes, the pleasure from literature, music, painting, and other manifestations of the creativity of other people exceeds the pleasure from the pleasures received through the body. Level 14 Researchers. 14 researchers are spirits who see the joy in the knowledge of the laws of the material world in all its diversity. They can cognize nature or society or themselves. They can see God behind all this, but they also want to cognize Him and sort out His laws and energies on the shelves. They do not always succeed in testing harmony with algebra. Therefore such spirits often cannot understand the difference between faith and knowledge, but nevertheless, their innate consistency and analytics help them feel that the world is much more complicated than it seems to them. Level 15 Inventors. 15 inventors are spirits for whom the highest happiness lies in creativity, in the creation of something that has not yet existed. It doesn't matter what it is: new recipes for pies, perpetual motion machines, or programs of political parties. The main thing for them is to make other spirits happy with the truth that was revealed to them and in the usefulness of which for everyone and at all times they sacredly believe. Inventors eagerly bring their light to everyone they meet and are very upset when they are not understood. Truth with experience comes to them, the wisdom that it is impossible to prove to a person the truths, to comprehend which he is not ready, and when the readiness comes, the need for proofs for him disappears. Level 16 Seekers. 16 seekers are spirits whose task is to find a way to the world of good spirits, to the world of angels, where the light shines much brighter than in the world of average spirits. Reflections of this light are seen by the seekers everywhere and everywhere. The main thing for them is not to fall into dogmatism and not to limit their thinking. They have already outgrown similar experiences and now see a good beginning in all religions and spiritual teachings. A characteristic feature of the seekers is dissatisfaction with their spiritual development, a constant striving for perfection. Many of them already feel that all books about spiritual development, all religious scriptures will not be of any use if they do not see and recognize the light in themselves. Many seekers feel it and merge with it, but not everyone can explain what it is, even to themselves. But their hearts often tremble before the great mystery of being, while dimly realizing that darkness is an unrecognized light, and evil is misdirected good. The world of good spirits. Level 17 Angels of Nature. 17 angels of nature are spirits whose service in the spiritual world consists of teaching fine material plasmod civilizations the correct way in the light of God, to control natural elements, to give birth to animal souls, and to assemble their energies into a single whole. They also often incarnate in the plasmod worlds to guide them on the true path and often incarnate in the humanoid worlds in order to more fully feel the natural energies and learn to work with them. Level 18 Guardian Angels. 18 guardian angels are spirits whose main mission in the spiritual world is to take care of embodied spirits from various levels. The light of love, which is realized by them, allows them to endure, forgive and preserve even the most ungrateful and evil spirits. The guardian can sincerely and lovingly take care of the demon, rejoicing at the smallest sprouts of good in his soul, and more importantly, he is able to understand and forgive if the demon suddenly tramples these sprouts and throws them to his benefactor. Each embodied spirit has a guardian angel, which during incarnation wished to have it. One embodied spirit can have several guardian angels, and a guardian angel, especially an experienced one, can also have several wards. The task of the angels is to protect wards from evil spirits, drive away bad thoughts and instill good and bright images that help to go to God. Level 19 Prophet Angels. 19 prophet angels are spirits whose main task is to convey the word of God, His laws to the minds and hearts of all spirits. The word prophet here denotes a messenger of the will of God, not a clairvoyant. It must be remembered that the future is multivariate, so it is impossible to accurately predict what will happen next. Any, even the most negative, forecast is a reason for reflection and attempts to translate events into a more constructive channel, and not an excuse to lay down your hands and passively wait for a negative forecast to come true. The task of the prophets is to teach incarnate and non-incarnate spirits that true spiritual selfless love, which shines in them with infinite light and spreads to all who fall into their field. They do this not for the sake of understanding, fame, or reward for their labors, but for the sake of the happiness that increases in them with each new spirit that has cognized through their service all the beauty of divine love. Level 20 Healing Angels. 20 healing angels are spirits whose work in the spirit world is to heal other spirits, both incarnate and non-incarnate. The word healing is understood by them in the broadest sense of this word, as the restoration of the integrity of the body, energy, consciousness, etc. Healers do not tolerate any disorder or chaos. He gives them almost physical pain and a desire to bring everything in line with the understanding of the world order that they have achieved at the moment. And spirits from this level very well feel someone else's pain, both physical and mental. If they do not learn to defend themselves from this and recover, then they can exhaust themselves and accumulate so much other people's pain that they will instinctively begin to close themselves from it, artificially lowering their vibrations, which will cause inevitable degradation and fall of the spiritual level. Level 21 Guiding Angels. 21 guiding angels are spirits whose task in the spiritual world is to meet the spirits who have left their material bodies forever and to accompany them through the astral plane to the world of non-incarnate spirits, to the level that they reached during their life in the body. Also, the task of the guides is to accompany the spirits, whose turn has come to incarnation, into the material world and help in connecting with the future body. Guides very often walk through the astral plane, meet with different spiritual entities at different levels of spiritual and intellectual development. Therefore they have flexible thinking, consciousness capable of adapting to different circumstances. They are able to quickly navigate in the environment and find a common language with a variety of intelligent beings. They have developed a tolerance for the opinions of others, the ability to persuade and courage before life changes. Level 22 Consultant Angels. 22 consultant angels are spirits whose main task is to help other spirits in choosing the best conditions for spiritual development for incarnation. They have well-developed symbolic thinking, knowledge of all the subtleties of karmic psychology, the laws of existence in material worlds of different densities, and have access to divine knowledge about each spirit, which turns to them for help in choosing an incarnation. They must take into account many factors that contribute to the development of specific spirits in the light of love in themselves and correlate them with astrological and numerological data in the material world, adequate to the description of the spirit that is embodied and its tasks, for its recognition by persons prepared for this. Level 23 Arots. 23 Arots are spirits who, while living in the spiritual world, help to form and develop high vibration egregores in the material world. They understand the importance of the correct ideology for the development of social and family relations, that contributes to the spiritual growth of all those who are embodied in this family and in this society. For them, any law written on paper or any other material medium will have no meaning if it does not find its reflection in the minds and hearts of intelligent beings. Arots are creators of reality, inspirers, and ideologists of political, religious, and informal popular communities, whose purpose is to carry the light of God in the form that is close and understandable to them at this stage of their development. Level 24 Devas. 24 Devas are spirits who have fully realized their potential and connected with their energy with the divine. They already have nothing but love and the potential to degrade with a decrease in their vibrations. This opportunity is embedded in all, without exception, intelligent spirits, as a necessary condition for freedom and personal responsibility, in which we can spiritually grow and improve, learning the unconditional love of our Heavenly Father so that He could in the future completely calmly give us His abilities to create and change material worlds. This possibility is realized at the 24th level of the spiritual world, reaching which the spirits see in front of them an endless step of greater and greater merging with the divine light. The spirits who incarnate into the material world from this level, consciously go to misunderstanding and rejection by others in order for everyone to discover in themselves the light that shines in their own soul. Devas have almost no other feelings, except for love, which engenders faith, hope, patience, mercy, and many of its other manifestations. Each spirit living on the lower level cannot visit the spirit living on the higher until it reaches it in its consciousness, but the spirit living at the higher level can, if it wishes, come to the spirit on the lower one if it lowers its vibrations. This is how the hierarchy of the world of non-incarnate spirits looks from the point of view of researchers of the spiritual world of the interstellar union.